Hi everyone, thanks for checking out another buying review. Today we're going to look at a classic BMW, the 3 Series, that was produced between 1990 and 1999 or 2000 in certain countries, the E36 BMW 3 Series. And this is a very nice car to start with if you want to get used to the brand, or this car is great for turning it into a track day. It has a rear-wheel drive, so you can also drift with it, do power slides if you have maybe an inline 6. And it used to be cheap, especially in the early 2000s. It was a cheap car to start driving a BMW. It is still fun to drive, and yeah, I think it's still good looking. It's really a nice slice of old school BMW, and that's mostly to the hydraulic steering, the delicious hydraulic steering that is part of this car. It really is a driver's car. It's still quite lightweight. There's still plenty of parts out there that you can purchase. It's easy to fix when you are a little bit technical. I mean, these cars can still be worked on by yourself if you want. And the more difficult exercises, you can still go to a BMW dealer. There are still parts there, but the smaller things you can do yourself and save some money here and there. They're not the most reliable out there, but we will list some of the things that you have to look out when buying such a car. So bear with us. The weakest part of this car is the coolant system, which can be a massive headache. I would personally recommend you to wrench on it yourself if you have the, if you have the place and you have the spare parts and you have the tools to do it. Otherwise, you have to have a professional to bleed out the system, and this can be quite pricey. But the cooling system is one of the most, fragile parts of this car. Also, we talked about it earlier, Vanos is also the variable valve timing system with the name Vanos is also a weaker part of this car. And this is something you might not want to wrench on yourself. I mean, this car is so well documented because it has a cult status. So there are many videos out there, there are many websites showing you in detail how to do it. But that doesn't mean that you can do a very good job yourself if you don't have the skills, and that's fine. It's a complicated system, but Vanos is also one of the weaker parts. If it goes bad, and it sounds like a marbles in a tin can in the front of the engine, right at the front of the engine. So check that as well. And while you're under the hood, also check the PCV system, which often leaks oil, and it can also cause a vacuum leak. If the engine runs rough at an idle upon startup, so when the engine is cold, check the idle control valve under the intake manifold. And this intake manifold controls the idle air intake and can sometimes get some carbon buildup there, which prevents it from opening. So make sure that it's clean. Sometimes a fast blast down the highway will do the trick. But those are actually the only 3 things that you need to look out for. So it's quite relatively easy. There are still many spare engines out there, but for 325i or something, it's also still quite expensive. The thing is, it's an old car, so things will fail on you, but they have kind of a classic icon status now. It's like the E36 and especially the E30. I mean, I remember a friend owning one in 2004, and the E30 was cheap as nails back then, but nowadays you pay a big premium if you want such a classic BMW. Because it's from an era that a lot of people fall in love with the brand, and those kind of easy, lightweight, fun cars are not coming back with all the electronics now. And it's not only a European car no more, it's really a worldwide brand. And the Americans and the Chinese or the people in Asia, they want something different from a BMW. But overall, the BMW E36 3 Series is a great starter BMW. Again, it's fun to drive and it's good looking. And if you want to work on it yourself, it is possible. Check out all the documentation, make sure that it's been served by either a BMW dealer, make sure it had the oil, check the things that we mentioned, like the cooling system and the Vanos, and also check the intake manifold. Cheap, reliable cars if you can do the maintenance yourself. Hope this buyer's review was useful for you, and if so, subscribe to my channel for more future videos. Thanks for watching.